करना नहीं है हाँ स्क्रीन शेयर थी वो बात करने वाला पीछे विंडो से खोलना पड़ेगा पिक्चर में डाटा फोल्डर फोल्डर हाँ फोल्डर नेक्स्ट हाँ इन क्लिक करो डेस्कटॉप पे जाओ व्हाट्सएप में इमेज लिखते थे अपनी एकदम यूजर से कर बना है आपको हरी इन्हें करो ओपन कर लो ये तो ठीक है नहीं है सर एक हां फिर क्लोज कर दो इनु एक क्लोज हम मीटिंग कर जब शेयर करोगे ना हां है ना ये है हाँ वो ऑप्शन आ जाएगी जब उसका शेयर स्क्रीन कराएंगे एक मिनट हम मैं करा वैसे करके देख क्या बस इन्हों मैं ऐ कर देना कर दोगे ये आ गई मैं कर देना हां कर दो मैं लगी करदा कैंसिल कर दे मैं तो लगी रहने देंगे तो करना कीजिए तो आज एक दो जने ओपन हुए हैं पहले चेक कर लो अपने साथ को होस्ट बना दो सब तो उसको बना दो फिर चेक कर लो हो गया सो जैसा आपको पता है कि हमारे 6 सेशन हो चुके हैं और he has started from the basic, so gradually he will come to little hard. So firstly individual, group, then now he has come on team. So in the next remaining topics जो बाकी बचे हैं, because Mr. Klaus Feldman हमारे 25 ऑनलाइन क्लासेस लेंगे और उसके बाद हम कोचेज भी आपके लिए एक दो क्लासें लेंगे जैसे कि हमने शेड्यूल में ऑलरेडी फिल किया हुआ है। तो आप इनके लेक्चर्स को प्यार से सुनिए और उससे मैक्सिमम आप लीजिए। सो नाउ नॉट टेकिंग मच टाइम, आई वुड लाइक टू invite Mr. Klaus Feldman to elaborate, to introduce about this topic today. So now, Mr. Klaus Feldman, please.
So screen sharing is on now?
Yeah, it is okay. Speech is okay. Now you will continue.
Okay.
Your topic.
And you can see the screen.
Okay. Yeah, everything is okay, sir.
Thank you so much.
Yes, done.
Okay. So good morning, everybody, and welcome to our second week. This is the so-called defense week because we start today with a presentation for 3-2-1 defense, continue with 5-1 and 6-1 defense, and we'll have as fourth presentation on Thursday some ideas of active and variable defense. So defense is really in the focus of this week, and I hope that everyone can follow these presentations in a nice way. And I hope that you can see how some things are built up in that way. We rely a little bit on the presentations we had in the last week about man-to-man defense and cooperation in defense. But now we are on the top of the pyramid. You remember that picture with the 3 levels: individual, cooperation, and now team tactics. And we're going to explain how this defense system 3-2-1 is working. Okay. Now, about the 3-2-1 defense in this presentation, again, we are using 3 chapters. The first chapter is about the classification and variations we have in this type of defense. Because in 3-2-1, not only in this one, but in 5-1, 6-0 and other defense systems too, there's not only one 3-2-1 or one 6-0, there are different variations, different ways how this system is worked out, different interpretations. And this is something I want to give as information in the first chapter and show a little bit the way to that 3-2-1 defense in the system we build it up. Second chapter about the basic moves and the preconditions of the players in different positions. This is something very important because there are some needs, some preconditions, some requirements the players must fulfill to work and to play successfully in that defense. And there are some basic moves and special cooperations in that 3-2-1 defense, which have to be known from the players, and they have to adapt especially to those basic moves in the training sessions. Chapter number 3 is, again, something with a little bit more examples of videos. So you will see some examples from games, how the players behave, how they use the basic variation of the system, and in some way, how they make some exceptions or solve some situations caused by what the attack is doing in that moment. So these are the 3 chapters, and we'll start now with chapter number 1, which is classification and variation. Presentations before, we have in Germany the system of starting with open defense for the players of the young categories. So in the category of age 11 and 12 years old, the players are starting with a basically man-to-man defense system, and their positioning is in general outside 9-meter area. So they have to take this position no matter whether personal opponent is in ball possession or not. So these are the 2 situations, one-on-one with and one-on-one without ball. Now, in that category of age, the teams in attack, they take the positions. So the players are running over the center line, and then they establish 3 players in backcourt, 2 players in wing position, and 1 in the pivot position. And from that positioning of the attackers and the players in defense getting attached to them, you will see a picture like a 1-5 zone defense with 1 player between 6 and 9 meter, basically positioned against the pivot, and 5 players outside the 9-meter area adapted or attached to the players in the backcourt and wing positions. But this is only a picture, and in handball, we want the players to move. So this picture will not be on the court very long visible, because moving to 6 meter, coming back again, it forces the defense to react. But we have to be honest, in some situations, the coaches in defense, they want to have this. And in that way, they try to introduce the zone defense. From my point of view, this is not correct. There must be a system which gives the smooth or allows the smooth way from man-to-man to zone defense. And this is the so-called sinking man-to-man defense. In this sinking man-to-man defense, the players are working a little bit more open, because the more open they are, outside 9 meter, they can sink back and establish a position not in front of the ball. So this is the basic rule of this sinking man-to-man defense. Nobody's defending in front of the ball. Every defender sinking back to the line of the ball. So if you start outside, just outside 9 meter, there's not so many space you can sink back. But if you defend from, let's say, 14, 15 meters away from the goal, then it's easy to sink back. So you can see how the players behave in this video sequence here. So this is the example for this sinking man-to-man defense. And in the way the players sink back, they have 3 advantages in that movement. So see the scene from the beginning. Man-to-man orientated, and now sinking back, stepping out again. So we take the stop motion. Now you can see player in center back position, in ball possession, under pressure from his personal defender. All other players in defense attached to their personal attackers. Now, by the time the ball is passed to left back, the point defender who is personally against the player in the center back position, now he is sinking back to open. Oh, I'm sorry for that. Once again. So let's come here. So you can see now, once again, player in defense, sinking to the line of the ball and stepping out again. So once again, in the slow motion, now fighting against center back player. And by with the left back position, and left back position is penetrating, now sinking back to the position not in front of the ball. So this position is very important because in that moment, first of all, it's easier to observe ball and opponent. Second is, he's in a helping position. So because from that position, he can go for help against left back. And by the time the ball is passed to center back again, now it's possible to step out, fight against center back, slipping away a little bit, okay? But basically, in a good position now. Now, sinking back and up again. So this is the movement we want from the players. And the 3 advantages are: observe opponent and ball, if position in a help position, and now introducing the movements we need in zone defense later on. Stepping out, sinking back, stepping out, sinking back. If the ball is here, observe, fight against the opponent and sink back. So these are the basic moves the players have to use later on in the open zone defense. But now in this sinking man-to-man defense, they are working out the basic variation or the basic elements of these movements, sinking back, stepping out. So that's why this smooth transfer from man-to-man to zone defense is needed, so that in the next category of age, 13, 14 years old, we can use the open way of defending in the situation when the player in attack is in ball possession, one-on-one without ball, defense is stepping outside 9 meter. But in the one-on-one situation without ball, defense is sinking back to the 6 meter line. So from that movement, you will see that now the ways of the defenders are not so long because they just step out 9 and they return to 6. So the defense is a little bit more compressed. The spaces are smaller, but the basic movements are still same. And this results in the second zone defense system that we introduced, which is the 3-1 defense. So just to give you an example, you will see here now the girls using that type of defense, and very easy to see how they move in this system. So these are the basic elements of that 3-1. We see here the basic moves and the basic variations. Now, as you can see, half defender was out on the ball side. Now the ball is on the other side. So sinking back to the 6 meter line. Ball possession with right back player. Half defender already on the way. Now, if the ball is with the wing, open defending on that side, enforce a pass to center back player. Try to intercept. Okay. There's a mistake. Okay. And out on that side again. Half defender on the other side, sinking to the central area of the court. If the ball is circulated, you will see it just on the other side. Coming out here and sinking back. So this basically, those movements of the players are same like you saw them before in the sinking man-to-man defense, but now two things are more important. First is space in which the defense is acting is decreased. It's not so open anymore. Second is now it's more like a system. But this depends a little bit on the way the attackers now circulate the ball. Before, the ball circulation was quite slow. Now, if the ball circulation is more fluent, you see the rhythm of the defense, how they move much better. So we will explain this in detail later. So no problem, you will see that video again. So now you saw how from man-to-man over sinking man-to-man, we came to this 3-1 defense. But as I said before, there's not only one 3-1 defense, there are different variations. The first one is the so-called 3-1 Yugoslavian variation. The second one I want to introduce to you is the 3-1 with libero. Number 3 is the 3-1-2 or so-called crown variation. So from these three variations, you will see there are different strategies which can be used in the 3-2-1 defense. And this is a very nice thing for the coach to adapt on one side on the preconditions of the own team, and on the other side, adapt on what is opponent's team doing or where they are strong in. So in that way, 3-2-1 is a quite flexible system in which those variations help to adapt to the needs in the game. So let's go by this step by step and explain the different variations. Basically, the 3-2-1 defense was developed in handball history in the early 70s. It was in the 1972 Olympic Games when handball was played first time as an indoor event in Olympic Games. In this time, handball was coming from outdoor to indoor, and outdoor handball in the 70s of the last century was not 6 against 6 on the normal court, 40 to 20. It was 11 against 11 on the football court. This was the ancient way to play handball. Now, when they make the step to the indoor event, 6 against 6 with goalkeeper, 7 against 7, very many teams, they took over strategy and movements from the 11 against 11, but there was much more space given. So in that moment, the defense was not hard, the defense was not aggressive, the defense was very smooth. When the Olympic Games in Munich at that time, 1972, using that very aggressive style of defense and developing a new system, 3-2-1. In that system, you could see that there was always a clear connection which defender against which attacker. So that's why the basic elements of that, or the basic needs for that defense was strong individual quality of every defender. So wing to the wing on right and left side, center defender against pivot, almost like in man-to-man, point defender against center back, giving pressure to opponent's playmaker, and the two players in the half defense stepping out against the ball possessor and sinking back on the help side of the defense. So this was the basic idea to pressurize the players in the backcourt position. Don't give them the chance to circulate the ball easy. Don't give them the chance to speed up the ball circulation and to make the defense follow the ball. It was the idea of the defense to minimize the speed of the ball, slow down the ball, and always to fight with the players in the backcourt positions. So it was a very active and almost aggressive defense that was played in that time. Sometimes a little bit dirty, to be honest, it was like that. But it was a complete surprise for all other teams in that moment, and the Yugoslavian team became Olympic champion in that way. So basically, this was the structure. It was a fighting defense, especially against left back, right back, two main shooters in all other teams, in attack of all the teams, and keeping the playmaker away from the goal. Don't give him the chance to cooperate in a nice way close to the goal with left back or right back player. This was the basic idea. Something else was typical for this Yugoslavian variation. And by the time attack was changing, the attack system from one pivot system to two pivot systems, then the defense did not change. They continued to play in that way, that if there was a second pivot, center defender was responsible for pivot on the ball side, and half defender, who was sinking back on the help side, took over the second pivot. By the time the ball was circulated on the other side, then this half defender would step out, the other would sink back. Center defender had to switch from one to the other pivot. And in that moment, the point defender, he was not attached with the personal opponent, because then center back position was not taken. So he was sinking back and in a defensive position. But this was a type of how the team in that moment believed in the strength of that defense. Their saying was, no matter whether attackers are changing the system, we don't change our system, because our system is so strong and gives so much pressure to opponent's attacker that even if they are changing the system, we don't need to change. So this was the fighting spirit in that 3-2-1 Yugoslavian variation, and as I said, very successful in that moment. Later on, very many of Yugoslavian coaches and Yugoslavian players came to other countries, and they took this system with them. So in the late 70s, early 80s of the last century, lots of coaches came to places or to countries like Spain, like France, like Germany too, and they introduced this 3-2-1 system in the clubs in those countries, and they worked it out in a nice way. But there was a very famous German coach, Peter Federn, who adapted this 3-2-1 system with his team, some Yugoslavian players in that squad too. But he said, I want a tactical variation in that team. And this was the movement of the player in the center defending position. Because in that original Yugoslavian 3-2-1, always when the half defender was stepping out against left back or right back on the other side, there was open space behind that player. So there was quite a risky situation for the defense if the player in attack could solve the one-on-one situation successfully. So the idea of this 3-2-1 with libero was always to move the center defender to that position as a backup behind the half defender who was stepping out before. So, and on both sides, you can draw two lines here, and with some interpretation, you can see the L position in that, and we know this word or this name, libero, from football. It's the free player, and this is what happened here too. This was the free defender here to take the position here, to close the space, to give a backup to half defender and wing defender. We'll explain that type of cooperation later on. And as it's easy to see, to create a numerical superiority of the team in defense on the ball side. So this is something which is quite good for the defense if on the ball side one player more is established and the space is decreased. But as you can imagine, you cannot have the advantage of one player plus on the ball side without some disadvantages. So one of the disadvantages is that someone must take over the pivot. So this was the task for the player of the half defending position on the help side of the defense. He must sink back to the center area and cover the pivot here. But still there's a right back player and a right wing player on that side, but only one more defender. So in that moment, it's a situation 1 against 2 on the help side. And in the traditional style of that 3-2-1 with libero, the position of the defense would be here. Wing defender take a position at the 6-meter line and try to decrease the space. Nowadays, we take this wing defender, you can see it from the red arrow, in an open position. Now here, solve this 1 against 2 situation in an open way. But this is something very helpful for all the other defenders too, because on one side, the pass to the wing is possible but very long, so the player in defense can run there. But from that open position, there's some pressure given to the backcourt player on the right back position. First of all, cannot take his position close to the sideline, must come a little bit more inside. So if the ball is circulated in that way, then it's easier. Second is that the timing when to start to move forward for this player is destroyed. So in that moment, this player in defense, the wing defender on the left side, has to take this open position, observe, ball, this opponent and the other opponent, quite tricky for him, and make a decision when to sink back. But without this 1-on-2 on the help side, it would not be possible to create the 3-on-2 on the ball side. So this is connected with each other. You cannot have the advantage on one side without the disadvantage on the other side. So this advantage, the center defender always behind in this area here, is something which makes the defense very strong, which decreases the space. And in our prescription of the system detail, see that more and more. Basic strategy in this 3-2-1 Yugoslavian and libero, first and second variation, was always not to let the attackers to central area, never allow them to move inside. So the idea was always win inside. The strategy in this type of defense is always to close the center area and make the players in the backcourt positions move to the sideline. This is the first strategic idea in that type of defense. And this was something which was changed again from Peter Federn, this famous German coach, because he developed as a strategic variation the 3-1-2 crown variation. Now, in this type of defense, you can see a change of the positions here, because we have 3 players basically positioned at the goal area line, the 2 wing defenders and the player center defender against the pivot. We have 1 player outside 9, but he's not so open like before. And we have the 2 players, half defender right and half defender left, out on the ball side and back on the help side, sinking. But now, when they are out, they are a little bit ahead or in front of the point defender. In the pictures before, it was just the other way around. And you can see from the positioning that the players in defense are now using a different position because now the strategy has changed. Basically, now they want to push the players inside where that defender is waiting. So they make them move inside and shoot maybe from outside 9 meter, 11 meters over a defender to the goal, which is not so easy even if you're a tall attacker in the backcourt position. So that's the difference now. One is different strategy, make them move inside, maybe compress the game only on the 4 positions, backcourt plus pivot, and cut the wings completely. And on the other side, try to make them shoot from those positions over that point defender with position basically almost at the 6 meter, at the 9 meter line. So from that time I have some video so you can see how this is working. So, and this is the 3-2-1 or 3-1-2, sorry, 3-1-2 variation, easy to see. Wing defender, center defender, point defender, but now even close to 9 meter, always push the attackers to the center and decrease the space in the center. Now from that you can see there's still a wing attacker here on the left side, and you see the wing attacker on the right side. Players in attack, they are not so flexible against that defense. Normally the pass must come now to the player in the wing, but when you see, finally, right back takes a silly decision, shooting in that moment without a chance. But you see how strong this defense in the center is, decreasing the space, and especially with a tall defender as a point defender, it's even difficult for players which are very tall in the backcourt to shoot over that player. Another example here. Once again, wing is running in now, and you see they sink back, but still, this is the point defender. Make them move into the center, and no chance to give the ball to the pivot. So this is a very defensive way of 3-2-1 defense, very defensive variation. But as you can see, this is a part of the strategy the teams are using by giving or by variations of the system. And this is what I like very much in this 3-2-1 defense, that there is a wide range of variations. Now, we must make a decision which type of 3-2-1 we want to explain. And I prefer that 3-2-1 with libero, but with that open wing defending. So this is the basic variation, which from my point of view, should every team adapt to, that they can use this, and there are a lot of advantages in that system. Now, as you know from our pyramid, first of all, individual quality is needed. And the individual quality means to develop the basic moves in that 3-2-1 variation. So we have the 3-2-1 of the half left defender and the half right defender, stepping out against right back and left back player. And this is something they have to do constantly. So that means it's not enough to do that 1 or 2 times in an attack. You must do that maybe 7, 8, 9, or 10 times in attack without getting tired, first of all, and without losing the timing. So because in those elements or in those basic moves, especially the timing is very important. Because if the ball is already with the attacker and the attacker is ready to move, and then the defender is stepping out, normally it is too late. So we want the players in defense to be out in that open position earlier. We want them to establish their position by the time attacker is receiving the ball. And then attacker must react on the moment the defense is ready, but not as a defender in the movement when the attacker is already on the way to the goal. So to do that early in time, to make the first step is something very important for such an active defense like 3-2-1. So it depends on automation on one time, and second on one-on-one actions, on timing, sorry, to be ready in time. Do things to the offense before the offense does things to the defense, or cut the grass before it grows. These are always words and give some pictures what the players should do. Okay. So once again, we come here to the basic moves. Second is the wing defense. This is something on the ball side, or to be developed on the ball side and on the help side. So in that moment, wing defender on the ball side should try to keep a position at the 6-meter line. In this type of defense, the strategy is that we want the attackers to pass the ball to the wing. Because if the ball is with the wing, attacker in half defender position can step out and pressurize the player in the backward position, left and right, without ball. So it's not only enough to give pressure to the attacker in the backward with ball, we must pressurize them with ball too. And this is very easy possible. It's a very good situation, very effective situation when the ball is with the wing. Because then the wing player cannot pass to left back or right back. You have to give longer pass to center back. Maybe our point defender can intercept the ball. So in that moment, on the ball side, go back to the 6-meter line as a wing defender and accept ball possession with the wing position. But on the help side, it's just the other way around. Because, as you know from the explanations before, on the help side, player in defense has to move out. Pressurize on one side, half defender without ball, because ball is on the other side, but take care for the long pass to the wing defender, to the wing attacker in the corner. So that's why ball side and help side movements are really different in the wing position. Number 3 is the center defender. He has to work against the pivot on one side, but he's responsible as a backup for the players in half and right defender position. So he must fight against right back and left back too. So this is something which is very important with this center defender, with this libero, that he's the backup for those open defenders. So in that moment, there's a real big responsibility, huge responsibility for that player given, and we must work out the decision making of this player in a nice way. I will show you some video how we can introduce those basic movements on one side and the following one-on-one situation. Because from my point of view, this always has to be connected in the way we train. So let's start here. And you see the players in the defense now stepping up and down for the one-on-one situations. So now girl was falling down, no problem. Next is moving, next ball is coming, and we continue pass to the other side. So let's see it once again from that position. Okay, this is a mistake. We will explain it in the next repetition. That's not so bad. Okay, and here we are. So now, to build up that drill, you see half defender right, half defender left. Center position, wing right and left, only for passing to circulate the ball. Left back and right back, they can score. There's a marking on the side here, on the side here, and on the side here. So which decreases the space, reduces the space for the one-on-one action. Now, if the ball is on the left side, half defender on the help side is sinking back and taking over pivot. If the ball is on the right side, just the other way around. So sink back on the help side, take over pivot, step out on the ball side, and fight in the one-on-one situation. Okay, now don't tumble, just stand up once again. Next ball is coming. And sinking back again. And this is the situation we want to have. Basically, that attacker is moving to the gap, to the outside position. So never inside, always outside, but shouldn't shoot at the end. Okay. Now, see it from that picture again. On the help side, sinking back, taking over pivot. On the ball side, stepping out. Now, never inside. Always close the center. Don't give them the chance to move inside. But now, if the ball is with the wing, step out and pressurize the attacker. Observation is not very good now because this player in defense should observe opponent and ball, which is in the wing position. Now we want the players in attack to be enforced to use one-on-one without ball movement. And in that moment, the player in defense must sink back again, sink, like we said before, but never lose the connection to the ball. So this is a mistake you see here now, because the player is moving without observation of the ball. So she's in contact with her attacker. That's not too bad, but she should move or should turn the other way around and observe the correct position. Now, enforce her to a one-on-one situation without ball, make her move and try to intercept the ball. This would be perfect. So, and this is always the game we have: up and down, ball side up, help side down, ball side up, help side down. And the players must find the right rhythm to be out in time, establish their position, and then to be ready to accept the one-on-one situation or to enforce a one-on-one situation which is uncomfortable for the players in attack. So This is the basic work for the half defending position we saw here. Now in the second step, one example, integrating the wings. In that moment, it's now only one marking here, and this side, it's a 2-on-2. The other marking is here, so on the other side, we have the 2-on-2. Center back player is only circulating the ball from one to the other side. So in that moment, now on the help side, player in the wing position, taking the open position against the backward player. If the ball is coming to that side, she must sink back, and half defender must step out. So on the ball side, wing defender close to 6-meter line, half defender out. So this is the way they have to move. So sinking back here, stepping out on the other side. So, and then we can see how this is worked out. So, and this is the situation we want to have. Create a 2-on-2 in small space close to the sideline, because in that moment, it's always easy to solve for the players in defense. Now long pass is coming and everybody's moving to the other side. And ball interception, that's nice. So once again, see, the ball is circulated. And we start now. Now, make them move to the side. Never allow the inside move. And after the pass, now sinking back here, take over the pivot, stepping out here, okay. And then on the other side, similar picture, wing little bit too much open, okay, should be a little bit more to the 6-meter line, but half defender open, that's okay. So and this is the basic way how the players should move in the half and the wing position on the ball and the help side. And from this, the players must learn that it is a system. And a system means that the different single parts, they are connected, they come together. There is a certain relation, how they are combined. And this is what they must learn and what they must accept. Now, center defender is coming into that game. And this is the very important situation now with that tall player here, because she's the one to create the numerical advantage on the ball side. So in that moment, she's always moving from one to the other side to take this L position, libero position here, and to support the players in defense on the wing and the half position. So here and on the other side here. Nice interception. This is what we want. So basically come always to the ball side. And now we have two options for the attackers in which this center defender will be active. First is, by the time wing attacker is in ball possession, in that moment, half defender is out, pressurizing the half attacker. Half defender is out. So half defender will never sink back for help. This cooperation is not given. If wing defender is moving inside here, it's always center defender who is responsible to help. Same is if the ball is with left back. If left back is now moving to the gap between wing and half defender, in that moment, half defender never will help, wing defender never will help. The help must come from center defender again. So she is always the one to help by an attack between first and second defender, no matter whether this is an attack from wing or half defender. So basically, we never let them inside. In general, we want the move outside, and if in that moment the attacker is breaking through, it's always the center defender to back up the action and create the situation 2 against 1, 2 defenders against 1 attacker, which is the ball possessor. And on the other side, it's the same. So half defender can step out now. It's no problem because she knows that in that moment, center defender is behind here as a backup, as a safety. So even if right back would now run around inside, outside, there's no open space here because the strongest defender is already in that position. So this is the basic idea of this 3-2-1 with libero. This is how the players move in that defense. Okay. Now we did something special from the methodical way because we introduced the situation 3 attackers against 2 defenders. 3 defenders against 2 attackers on the ball side. But this is what this defense wants to create. Normally, we have the pivot in that, and this is what you can see here now. So in the next step, the pivot is integrated in that moment. So if the pivot is on the ball side, now center defender again is responsible for pivot. But then on the ball side, it's a 3-on-3. Okay. Half defender on the help side is sinking back only to the center area of the court, but never going to the other side because then it would be too far to move again to left back when the ball is circulated. So we must intercept the ball, that's fine. Okay, once again, now if the pivot is in center area, it's with the backcourt, with the half defender from the other side. If the pivot is, and for this, the players in defense, they need to communicate very much. So that's why this defending with, very good, this defending with is connected with high level of communication. So see it once again. On the ball side, 3 against 3, that's fine. No chance to pass the ball. Second, pivot now in a good position. Now half defender must come with her. But on the other side, and here we see a nice interception once again. When center is passing to left wing, the wing defender is already back and intercepts the ball. So in that way, these are the basic moves that are worked out from those 5 players in defense. Number 6 is then point defender against center back, but this is just to push center player of opponent's attack a little bit more to the center line to reduce the space and not give them the chance to circulate the ball so easy. Okay, and this is what we see here. Now Oops, don't lose that situation. It's a 4 against 4 in the center area. Sinking back a little bit, push her out, never inside. This is mistake. We always want the players to use the way outside in attack, never allow them the inside move. So once again, now you can see pivot far on the other side, half defender sinking back, center defender in libero position, half defender stepping out. So now you see the switch, center defender with the pivot on the ball side. This defender should move a little bit more to the central area to decrease the space. So she's standing now. We don't want this. This is good defending and good interception finally. Never inside. And as I said before, if this player is not waiting here, but still in that position, she would decrease the space first of all, and don't give such an open space, and she would be able to maybe intercept the pass. Okay, once again from the beginning. Now, introducing this defense is not something which is possible in 1 or 2 steps only. You need a certain time for training to develop those elements. First of all, individual, the basic moves. Second, the different ways of cooperation. And third, which is really, really important, the decision-making in defense, because always the players here have to observe and to decide, help or not help, step out, sink back. So it's really always making a decision from the players in defense. And this is something which helps by the time the players are using that defense more and more in the competition. Because from the competition, they can learn very much. Now you see here a last drill with 5 in attack against 4 in defense. So it's left back, center back, right back, and 2 pivots. So the players in defense are enforced to move even more, always on the ball side to attack, never let inside. Center defender now with the pivot on the ball side. Half defender on the help side, sinking back and taking over pivot on that side. If the ball is there, shift, move, and get connected again. So this is now the style they play, like in a Yugoslavian 3-2-1, always outside, that's okay, and try to catch the ball. Okay, she missed it. So this is the way it is working. So the preconditions for the different positions, not really unimportant, because you have to know what type of players is required for which position. Half left defender, half right defender, they have to be the fighters. They are the ones that are fighting against left and right back, normally strongest shooters of the opponent's team. They don't need to be tall because they don't need to block, but they need to be agile and they need to be a little bit aggressive because they have to fight against them outside 9 meters. Take the one-on-one situation in a position where they cannot shoot. Make them or involve them in a one-on-one situation where you as a defender are more fast and more aggressive. So this is something we need, this fighting spirit, the agility and so on from these players. Secondly is the point defender, who is the guidance of the center attacker, guide them to one or to the other side. Number 3 is the center defender. This is the most important one because he is responsible for pivot. He is the boss and he is the backup for all the other players. So he must have good communication with half and right defender, half left and half right defender for taking over pivots. And he must be the best decision maker in defense if he decides for help. So that's his big challenge. Left wing and right wing defender, I call them the extra workers, because they are the ones who, especially on the help side, solve this 1-on-2 situation. So in that moment, on the ball side, we have this 3-on-2 numerical advantage from the defense side. Okay, let's come to our last example or last chapter, some examples from games, once again, to see how the players in this system are moving. And here you can see how dynamic this system is and how difficult it is for the players in defense, in attack, to find the gaps. So, stepping out, sinking back, stepping out on the other side, provocating the long distance pass. So this is always the basic idea here. So you see this one stepping out, right wing a little bit under pressure, center back is far away from the goal. And then it's difficult to circulate the ball. You see here, if the ball is in the center, early on the way, because this is a very strong player in left back, so you cannot wait till the ball is with her. You have to step out really early. If not, okay, sink back and decrease the space. If there's a movement inside, help is coming. And you see the help is coming from center defender again and point defender too. Whereas the half defender on the help side is with the pivot. So these two players, they are so far away and behind the ball will never come in that position. So stepping out, sinking back, help. This is what we want. And again here, outside defending, give pressure to the player in attack so that she cannot receive the ball like she wants to. So, and again, out here, enforce the pass to the center position. So this is the way the defense must work. So I hope that everybody could follow that basic structure of the 3-2-1 defense. And we finish the presentation now and we go back to the questions. But from the beginning, I want to inform you that, first of all, questions are only answered according to that topic. Second is something I have to clarify. 3-2-1 is a very nice defense system, but it's not the perfect system. There is no perfect system in handball because you always will receive some goals. So sometimes attack is doing something very good, then we must accept. A very common idea in attack is to change system. Then 3-2-1 maybe can react in different ways. There's one way to change the system. Another way is to keep the system. Change of the system is possible in an offensive or defensive way. Keep the system is what the Yugoslavian defense did when they said, no, we don't change. We believe in our system. We play on or continue playing in the same way. So in the discussion now, or when answering the question, so I will not give an advice which way of reaction is the best. because that depends on so many different questions, answering so many different questions. One is, what is the preferred type of defense you use? Are you going to continue with an open defense, or are you going to sink back to a more defensive way? Second is, what is the strength of the attacker in that moment? Third is, how do they do the transition? Running in from the wing, running in from the back, running in from the center, running in from the ball side, running in from the help side. There are a lot of variations for that. So, and it's simply not possible to answer all these questions and to show all those variations that are possible. Okay, now going away from the presentation and opening the chat. So make it big. Specific exercises, you saw them. I hope that this was obvious. So diagrams, double PPC, no. As I said before, okay. Thank you. Okay. Continuous changing of positions. This is what we don't want. They should not change position too much. So that's why this defense tries to pressurize the attackers in a very strong way, so that they are not able to change the positions, especially not by crossing. So this is what we don't want. But sometimes it cannot be avoided. That's true. Okay. So, Mr. Mohinder, can you hear me?
Yes.
How can the defender avoid being overrun by attacker? Okay, this is quite easy to explain. First of all, not completely. This is really true, because sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But what you can do is, first of all, be in an open position very early. If you come too late, you have no chance. Second is, reduce the options of the players in attack. Because if you step out and you're in a frontal position, attacker have the chance to go to the right and to the left side. If you step out and take one position so that this side is closed, you enforce the player in attack to only go to the other side. So you must make, as a defender, the decision for the attacker where to go. You give him invitation to that side, but never allowed to go to the other side. And then it's easier to react, and the chance of being overrun is minimized. Not completely over, so sometimes they are successful, but if you have to react on what the attacker is doing, maybe to the right, maybe to the left, he will be successfully, or more probably will be successful. If you take one side and say, okay, no 50-50 chance for you, only this way, then it's easier because you have to only defend in that one direction. So this is strategy, this is early in defense, and this is very much needed if you play in an active and open defense. Because playing active in defense means not to react, not to wait, never give the attacker the chance to make the first step. Okay, I have to step out once against this opponent. What's WD? Half defender. Yes, they have to step out. Okay. Okay. Physical requirements. As you can see, it's agility and it's coordination. Because moving forward, moving backward, especially if the attacker is moving inside, then the main movement of the defense is sidewards, backwards. That's why we had last week this special lections about coordination and agility. Okay. Think back. When back attacker will run free to the 6-meter area, what should the players in defense do? Think back, always try to establish or keep the position between opponent and goal. This is always the thing you have to do. And next is try to be the closer he's coming to 6-meter line, the closer to the attacker. So between 6 and 9 meter, very close defense, never allow ball possession. How to overcome 3-2-1? No, I don't answer this. Should wing defender run inside, wing attacker runs free, center area, wait this position, switch over with other players. This is a question of transition. You can do that or you can't. So depends on how you solve the situation, but this is more tactical. We don't talk about this now. Which attacking system is most useful? The one you score with. So if the center backer go for a breakthrough, whom will play supporting role? It's the half defenders. So they step out and they think back. If the ball is with the center attacker and he's going through, half defender on his way back has to be a little bit behind point defender, and from that position go for help. Okay. So, okay. Most of the questions answered. I think that's okay. So, Mr. Mohinder, please, can you take over?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Klaus. It was again a very informative and very interesting lesson. And you have given the right information how to play with 3-1 defensive system. That is very, very offensive system. So in that, it is, the individual quality should be very strong. So now I think systematically from the series, it is the right time. So you have told that how to first in previous topics to develop your agility and speed, then cooperation, now helping all 4 principles in defense. So I think according to that, our coaches have learned a lot from this information, and hope that in future they will also apply the same system to develop, to keep the opponent away from their attacking zone. So thank you very much. Now we will speak in Hindi to our coaches. So dear coaches, जैसा कि क्लाउस फेल्डमैन ने,
बाय बाय,
थैंक यू, जैसा कि क्लाउस फेल्डमैन ने 3-1 डिफेंस सिस्टम को इंट्रोड्यूस किया, उसमें मैं कुछ बातें अपने कोचेस को ये बताना चाहता हूं कि इनमें से जैसे उसने पोजीशंस बताई हैं डिफेंस में, लेफ्ट हाफ डिफेंडर, राइट हाफ डिफेंडर। सो हमारी हैंडबॉल के हिसाब से जो लेफ्ट बैक है, या जिसको हम प्लेयर नंबर 4 बोलते हैं, जो उसका डिफेंडर है, जो राइट बैक प्लेयर नंबर 2 है, हाफ राइट डिफेंडर वो है, जो 5-1 या टॉप पे खेलता है उसको ये डीप पॉइंटर बोलते हैं, जो पिवट को लेता है वो सेंटर डिफेंडर है। सो अकॉर्डिंग टू हिम, जो सेंटर डिफेंडर है उसको इसने बॉस बोला है कि ही विल गाइड हिज टीम वंस the attacking player beats his personal opponent, then he is in the helping side. So as he has, इसने जो हमारे इस 3-2 सिस्टम को 3 हिस्सों में बांटा है, जैसे इसने बोला है कि यूगोस्लावियन टीम जो है वो इसको अर्ली 70s में अप्लाई किया और इसके रिजल्ट अच्छे आए और दे वॉन द चैंपियनशिप। दूसरा, उसने लिबरो के साथ कि जब भी अटैकर बॉल को रोटेट करता है तो उसमें 2 एल राइट साइड में और बॉल साइड में बनते हैं, सो दैट इज कॉल्ड लिबरो। फिर उसने एक क्राउन बोला है, 3 डिफेंडर जो हैं वो 6 मीटर पे रहेंगे, एक जो डिफेंडर है वो 9 मीटर और 8.5 मीटर पे, 2 जो डिफेंडर हैं वो आगे रहेंगे, जिसको हम लेफ्ट हाफ डिफेंडर और राइट हाफ डिफेंडर बोलते हैं। तो इसका मेन ये है कि इसने ये कहा है कि जो बॉल है वो अगर विंग साइड चली जाती है तो चांस ऑफ स्कोरिंग बहुत कम है। अगर वो पास बैक करता है बैक को, तो वो लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस से पास आएगा उसका जो पर्सनल डिफेंडर है उसकी मूवमेंट्स को देख सकता है, पढ़ सकता है, अकॉर्डिंगली बिहेव कर सकता है। तो जो सेंटर डिफेंडर है वो पिवट को छोड़कर वो जो विंग डिफेंडर है उसकी हेल्प के लिए चला जाता है राइट डिफेंडर की जगह पे, राइट हाफ की जगह पे। अगर बॉल लेफ्ट विंग पे चली जाती है तो जो पिवट है, जो पिवट का डिफेंडर है, सेंटर डिफेंडर, वो फिर दूसरे विंग की हेल्प के लिए चला जाएगा। इधर वाला राइट डिफेंडर जो है, हाफ डिफेंडर, वो पिवट को ले लेगा। सो इन दैट अगर अपोनेंट की टीम के पास बहुत ही स्ट्रॉन्ग लॉन्ग शूटर हैं, उनको हम उसके अटैकिंग जोन से दूर रखने के लिए हम ये सिस्टम को अपनाएंगे। और उससे क्या होगा कि जो उस सिस्टम से वो खेल रहे हैं, जहां से उन्होंने सोचा था कि हम 9 मीटर से या 10 मीटर से जंप शूट करेंगे, ब्लॉक एंड फ्री करेंगे, दैट विल नॉट बी पॉसिबल। इसके बाद वो कह रहा है कि अगर अटैकिंग टीम अपने प्लेइंग सिस्टम को, अटैकिंग सिस्टम को चेंज करती है, 3-3 से 2-4 में लाती है, तो हम भी अपने सिस्टम को चेंज कर सकते हैं। देयर इज अ टू वे टू कीप द पोजीशन, टू कीप द सिस्टम एंड टू चेंज द सिस्टम। हम भी उसी सिस्टम से खेल सकते हैं अगर हमें वो एडवांटेज दे रहा है। अगर उनके अटैकिंग सिस्टम को चेंज करने में हमें डिसएडवांटेज हो रहा है तो हमें ट्रांजिट इनटू अनदर डिफेंसिव सिस्टम, दूसरे में ट्रांजिट करना होगा, फिर हम उसको बेटर तरीके से डिफेंस कर सकते हैं। इसके एडवांटेज ये हैं कि एक तो जो अटैकिंग टीम प्लान करती है, जब आप ऑफेंसिव डिफेंस करते हैं और उनकी जो रोटेशन है वो जो है इजियर कंडीशन में नहीं होती। अगर हम जोन में खेलते हैं तो हम देखते रहते हैं कि वो रोटेट करते हैं और हम उनको इजी फॉलो करते हैं। तो उनका जो टैक्टिस होता है कि आफ्टर 1 रोटेशन या 2 रोटेशन या 3 रोटेशन के बाद हम आरएपी करेंगे या एक कॉम्बिनेशन की पॉसिबिलिटी करेंगे। उनके पास सोचने के लिए टाइम होता है। अगर हम अग्रेसिव डिफेंसिव सिस्टम को अपनाएंगे, दैट इज 3-1, और जो प्लेयर बॉल रिसीव करता है उसको हम मौका नहीं देंगे सोचने का, तो जो उनकी स्ट्रेटजी है, जो उन्होंने कॉम्बिनेशन प्लान किए हैं, वो उनको एग्जीक्यूट नहीं कर सकते एंड वी कैन विन द मैच। सो ये आज के लेसन में उसने हमें ये बताया है, क्योंकि हमारे जो टर्मिनोलॉजी है इंडियन, उसमें हम बैक प्लेयर कहते हैं, 4 का डिफेंडर, 2 का डिफेंडर। सो हमने ये भी याद रखना है आगे से कि जैसे उसने डिफरेंट फॉर्म ऑफ एक्सरसाइज दिया हमें, 3-3, 4-4। सो हम भी अपने प्लेयरों को सीधा स्टेट मैच में ना अप्लाई करते हुए पहले उनकी मूवमेंट, अंडरस्टैंडिंग और अग्रेसिवनेस जो है, उसने बताया है कि द लिबरो शुड बी वेरी अग्रेसिव टू टेक द अपोनेंट ऑफ हिज टीममेट। जब वो उसको बीट करता है तो वो आगे नहीं जाने देगा। ही शुड बी वेरी अग्रेसिव, वेरी स्ट्रॉन्ग एंड वेरी टॉल। सो इन चीजों को देखते हुए हम अपनी जो इंडियन हैंडबॉल है उसको बहुत सुधार कर सकते हैं। जैसे कि आप सभी कोचेज का एम भी यही है, फेडरेशन का एम भी यही है, हमारी स्पोर्ट्स अथॉरिटी ऑफ इंडिया का एम भी यही है, जिसकी वजह से हैंडबॉल फेडरेशन ऑफ इंडिया और साई दोनों ने मिलकर ये ऑनलाइन क्लासेस का जो हमें चांस दिया है, जो फॉरेन एक्सपर्ट मंगाया है, उसी की वजह से हम अपनी हैंडबॉल को सुधार कर सकते हैं। सो थैंक यू वेरी मच once again everybody giving patience to listen. Now we will meet tomorrow again at 12 o'clock. फिर मेरी ये रिक्वेस्ट है आपसे कि मैंने आज कुछ हम कोचेज ने ऑब्जर्व किया है कि कुछ लोग बिना सैंडो के, बिना टी शर्ट के लेट कर इसको देख रहे हैं और हमें जानबूझकर उनका वीडियो जो है वो ब्लॉक करना पड़ा। सो हम नहीं चाहते कि किसी का वीडियो ब्लॉक हो। प्लीज आप अटेंटिव होके और खूबसूरत तरीके से आप बैठिए और इसको सुनिए, और फिर आपने, क्योंकि आप डेढ़ घंटा रोज हमें सुनते हैं और आपने 1 महीना सुनना है, आपके 40-50 घंटे खराब होंगे। हम चाहते हैं कि आप अटेंटिव होकर इसको सुने और इसको आगे इस बच्चों में इंप्लीमेंट करें। सो नाउ tomorrow again we will meet at 12 o'clock and defensive system is 5-1. So he will tell us about the preconditions, how to play, how to prepare our defensive player. So thank you very much once again. Thank you.